people will line up to pay their final respects and say a final thank you. But first, the ceremony in Atlanta as President Carter's body leaves the Carter Center for a final time. Liza Lucas is there as that ceremony has really gotten underway in the last few minutes. Liza.
That's right. And, we've been behind the scenes over here watching that preparation, the motorcade get in place, the drums getting in preparation, and the honor guard, of course, will certainly take part. We also want to take you to the live picture now so you can get a glimpse at what we are looking at here at the Carter Center as we kind of watch all this unfold, this goodbye ceremony of sorts. At 11 a.m., the Carter Center staff gathering around the circle of flags. They'll be joined by their family, and staff from the Presidential Library and Museum will also be gathering. This is going to be their farewell. And Atlanta will be saying farewell as well as the 39th president leaves the city that he knew so well, and so many knew him. Carter serving as state senator, elected governor, and serving from 1971 to 75, of course, later becoming the 39th president. And then the city also especially significant as well, an important chapter post-presidency. Carter, a distinguished professor at Emory University, of course, founding the Carter Center with Rosalynn in 1982. Manuel's Tavern, just down the street from where we are, holding its own special memories down the block. The conversations and friendships with Manuel that we've talked about, the New Year's Eve's parties that we've covered over the course of this week. And as we close this chapter, we want to bring you back here to the memorial sign because there will be another opportunity, even though the public visitation did wrap up today, and we will be saying goodbye as the president's body is taken out through that motorcade and onto Dobbins and then D.C. On the 9th, on the National Day of Mourning, the public will be invited back here to the Presidential Library and Museum. It will be open to the public. So once again, people can gather and pay their respects. Again, you can see right there the picture of the hearse the casket being carried out, the honor guard. So we're going to bring you back out here to the sign as this all unfolds, and we continue to bring together this moment. Guys, I can hear the drums in the background. I'm going to send it over to you.
And once again, we see the remains of the former president being carried out of the Carter Center for the final time. The men that have been standing around him over the last 36 hours as he's been lying in repose.
I didn't know if he was counting down me or counting down.
If we could do it on Saturday, like. Saturday. That's irrelevant. Hang on. Well, it's not. Let me look. Hang on. That's irrelevant. He's going to do what he's going to do, but hang on.
It looks like there's people trying to watch.
They said it was 23,000.
just never.
You're looking live right now at the Carter Center, where President Carter is set to leave one last time. This is the departure ceremony happening right there at the Carter Center. And guys, we just saw some of the faces of the people there who certainly had a special bond and relationship with the family.
Mm-hmm. And we heard the family speak in that ceremony at the Carter Center on Saturday. And they say how they appreciate being on that motorcade route and seeing everyone line the streets at the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Plains, Georgia, at the state capitol, knowing how much their father, their grandfather was adored by so many people in the state of Georgia.
There's a very strict sort of choreography for presidential funerals, and we will begin to see that implemented now as the federal government becomes involved in this on the way to Washington, D.C. And it's a very, very structured, very regimented, by the minute, by the hour of what the expectation is. So I think you'll begin to see that. May have a little bit of a different look than what we saw on Saturday, which was less of that. It seemed less formatted, less regimented, but I think it's an illustration of Washington, D.C. and how things will have kind of a different look about it here very, very soon, and I think we're experiencing that right now.
It will. Yeah, we expect that the hearse will depart the presidential center here within the next 20 minutes or so. The time we were given was right around 11:30, making its way to Dobbins Air Reserve Base in Marietta. So that'll be about a 20-minute drive, you'd say?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that. That is such a bottleneck of Atlanta traffic. That 75 area and 285, and you get up there by Kennesaw, and the traffic is such a logjam no matter what time of day. So we'll see how that impacts all of this. But I would assume, I think you're right, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's the plan. The plan right now is for right around 12:10 to arrive there at Dobbins. So we'll see this all again play out within the next 30 minutes or so. As our Caitlin Ross has been reporting, this will be pretty much, for the most part, a silent service, other than the musical selections that you'll hear.
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, the hearse will carry the former president's remains to Dobbin Air Reserve Base, and he'll make that final journey to the nation's capital, where our Cheryl Preheim is live. And Cheryl, this focus will now shift to the nation's capital, where we will really see a very structured service. As Jeff just mentioned, we will see the former president lie in state, where members of Congress, members of the Supreme Court, dignitaries will also have a service to honor the 39th president, Cheryl.
Yeah, there are so many details, Ariana, planned here for his arrival, a final journey back to the nation's capital for the 39th president, starting from Dobbins Air Reserve Base, where a special Air Force unit will carry the former president on Special Air Mission 39, designated, of course, for the 39th president and the only president from the state of Georgia. And there are incredibly beautiful details set aside for his time here in Washington, D.C. But first, the journey from Georgia to the nation's capital. Caitlin Ross is at Dobbins Air Reserve Base right now. Caitlin, you get a sense that the team that will carry the president to the nation's capital the very last time feels a deep honor in this mission.